Hello, my name is Valerie Thomason. I am a middle school math teacher in Council Grove, and I decided to do my presentation over corporal punishment because, ironically, this is something that I was just discussing with my sister the other day. It was something that we um, dealt with when we were children. In our school, we got spankings when we were in trouble, and my nephew goes to the same school, and he actually got to enjoy the spanking, and she was contacted by the principal and everything, and it was just ironic because you don't see a lot of schools that still do that, so it was something that was fresh on my mind, and I thought I would enjoy getting a little further information on what my school district personally how they feel about it. So, um, the first thing is that we have to define what is corporal punishment. Corporal punishment, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, stated that it was punishment administered by an adult as a parent or a teacher to the body of a child, ranging in the severity from a slap to a spanking. I thought it was very good because it talks about the difference in the range of how punishment can be administered. So. The book pointed out that there are supporters and opposers, obviously, two sides to this. The supporters say that it creates changes in student behavior, teaches them discipline and respect. However, opposers say that it's just a legalized form of child abuse and teaches that violence is an acceptable way to solve problems. And this goes along just with spanking in general. I personally don't have children, but I know some parents don't believe that in spanking their children themselves because they, again, feel like it teaches that violence is a way to solve a problem and to um, fix an issue. Where supporters say that's exactly what they want. They want to create the change in the student behavior. They want to teach them that their behavior is unacceptable. So, two very clear sides to this. Our book discussed the court case, the Ingram versus Wright, and in this court case, there was a severe punishment. The child was had to receive doctor visits and was out of school for a while, but the courts decided that even though the punishment was severe, it did not violate the Eighth Amendment. And this backs up that the courts deem that corporal punishment is an acceptable form of discipline. That students should not have to worry about their Eighth Amendment right being violated because it just isn't. They stated that due process was very important. Before punishment, students should be allowed to share their side of the situation. They should be able to state whether they knew they were violating a rule or whether the rule was unknown, things like that. They should be able to discuss what was going on prior to the situation. And upon request, that parents or guardians must be provided a written explanation of the reasons for the punishment and the school's officials who were present during the punishment. I think this is very obvious why you must provide information, but just being sure that that documentation is being taken, that you do have your situation very clearly lined out before any punishment is given. Reasonable punishments should never be administered excessively or with malice. A punishment is a punishment, and that's all it should be. It shouldn't be done over and over again. It shouldn't be done with anger and malice. It's to resolve the issue and be done. There are two standards that govern punishment if it is reasonable, and how we determine that based on these standards. Reasonable punishment standards, the first one is that it's exerted within the bounds of reason and humanity. Very clear-cut standard there. The second is the person administering the punishment must not be motivated by malice and must not inflict the punishment excessively. So again, back to that, is it reasonable? We cannot do it with malice or in excessiveness. Excessive punishment is any punishment that can be considered cruel or unusual. Excessiveness also occurs when no consideration is given to the age, size, gender, and physical condition of the student. You have to take into consideration who you're punishing. Different people are going to receive different types of punishment. And the student should never fear for their safety. That is clearly in excessive punishment if they're fearing for their safety. So, how do we protect ourselves? That's the biggest important question, because obviously, if we are going to give corporal punishment, we have to protect ourselves in the process. So, these were some things that I felt like were important to make sure you do to protect yourself. Always making sure that others are informed on what's going on. Don't attempt to do things on your own. The best thing that you can have is other people around you supporting you, saying what they did was okay, what they did was right. Never trying to do things on your own. And always have other officials or adults present to witness what has happened, because if you're ever questioned on what has happened, you'll have someone there to show, to say they saw exactly what happened. Also, attempting to comply with parents' requests when it comes to their not wanting corporal punishment for their child. If a parent is very vocal about them not wanting that type of punishment for their child, we need to do our best to try to find another way of getting an equally viable punishment and staying away from the corporal punishment if they're not okay with that. And always take into consideration the size, the age, and the gender of the student before giving any punishment. This is clear. I mean, depending on who you have standing in front of you depends on what type of punishment you'll be giving. And lastly, I thought about what to put in. I said, if in doubt, wait it out. I think sometimes the biggest thing is that when you're in a situation and you have to give a child a punishment, you're not always thinking rationally. So never jump into a situation and act irrationally. Remember, the person administering the punishment should not be doing so with malice. Consider all facts and prior steps taken before any punishment is given. Wait it out. Give it a little while. Think about, is corporal punishment what's needed? If so, that's fine, but make sure it's the right decision for everybody. And that's all I have. So, hope you enjoyed.